So for this PowerPoint tip, I'm extremely embarrassed to admit that I only saw compressed pictures today. And this was already brought into PowerPoint in 2007. So I'm well known for ripping people off for not knowing something exists in Office. And I always tell my students when they see something for the first time that it's embarrassing because my grandmother has been using it for years. Well, today I have to admit that this has been there for 11 years and I didn't know it. I'm really embarrassed about this. So let me show you how compressed pictures then works in PowerPoint. And this is going to solve a lot of problems for me and definitely for my students as well. So I'll just insert a new slide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a picture into my PowerPoint that is 15.5 meg big. So that's not like massive size these days, but believe me, if you add a lot of these on a SharePoint page, of course, the bigger your pictures are, the longer your page takes to load. So it's definitely a good thing to be aware of the size of the images that you use. So the first thing, as I said, didn't know that that this existed. So that definitely is a bit of good advice for us for today. If you select the image and I go to format and I go to compress pictures, it allows me to actually compress it to specific sizes. So I'm going to start up with high fidelity and I'm going to go yes, and I'm going to just give it a moment, and then I'm going to right click this and just save it as a picture. So in that same, so high fidelity, so this is definitely for the one. Again, undo, let's compress this again. I'm going to save this as email, and it now starts getting quite a grainy look to it. So let's just save this as email. And then I'm going to show you the size differences between these, because that's obviously what makes all the difference. Don't get confused between the size of an image, which is like megabytes, and the size of an image, which is the width and the height, the size, the pixels, or you know, the physical centimeter size of it. So that tends to be quite confusing for users. Now, something that I've done for years as well, and I'm going to just reset this picture back to the original high quality image, is I used to use Snipping Tool for this. So I'm going to still use Snipping Tool and just go new and just snip it. So Snipping Tool is obviously included in your OS on your machine as well in Windows. So you can just search for Snipping Tool, and then I'm going to just save this as a Snipping Tool. Snipping Tool, and I'm going to save it in that same folder. So let's go Snipping Tool, and now I'd like to show you the difference between the sizes of those images. Even though the one says web, I have to admit I wouldn't use web. The quality just gets too bad. So if I bring this across and I show you the size difference, you'll be shocked. This is the original image that I brought into PowerPoint, so 15.5 meg. Then you'll see this is how I started compressing them down. The high fidelity was the highest one, but then also high definition is also 534. Print is a 611 kilobytes, where web is 732, even though it's a very bad quality, strangely enough. And then, of course, email, also a bad quality, 312 kilobytes. But have a look at the Snipping Tool. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So from 15.5, so 15,600 kilobytes, I've managed to bring it down to 103 kilobytes just by using Snipping Tool. So for me, Snipping Tool is still the best way to just really bring an image down, but still keep the quality, which is fine for the web pages, especially for SharePoint Online. So that's quite a good test to do, is to look at those. I would definitely use most probably the HD or one of those options for quickly compressing them. But remember, then you have to right click on it again and save it as a picture to then use it in your SharePoint Online page or in your banner, etc. So definitely a great tool to go and compress your images. Hope you enjoy, and I hope you save a lot of time by doing that, and also save a lot of time with those page loads.